What's up, YouTube? Welcome to more trades. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin and see what's happening in the charts. We had an insane pump today, and see what's going on in the charts. Basically, we had an insane pump to the upside. However, if we take a deep look at the charts, we'll notice that we haven't really gone we haven't done really something significant, in my opinion. Okay, we had a big volume candle and a pump. Then at the moment we're just consolidating. But in reality, we are just in this big box that we've been in. Big box that we've been in for a long time now. If you look back from if we take it back to the 28th of September, you will see that we're just basically I'll give you some TA and what do I see, what do I think, what's happening with the market. Basically what I'm looking at is that we're just in this big box at the moment for now. We had a nice breakout to the upside. Realistically, it is a big breakout, but if you compare the volume on the 4-hourly, we're still having a less volume than this, but everything else is looking quite good for more upside. I'll be sharing with you some of my targets that I have up. If you're in a long, where should you consider taking profit? And if you're looking for entering a short, where's the next possible trade setup idea that I have over here? So I'm gonna go on the daily for starters and look at where we came from, and I'll show you my big wave count over here. What do I think Bitcoin is doing? Let me just get rid of some of these lines. I got many lines over here. I hope everyone's doing good. Let's start with it. Okay, if we go back to where we started off this downtrend from 69k or even further, we had this big rally up to April of 2021. Now when we came down, this is just a correction. I mean, it could be a beginning of something, but it also could be a correction, as in this could be a wave A, B, and a C wave down. The C wave, the B went higher than the fifth wave of this move, and that is called an expanded flat, where you have the B exceeding the high of the A. So A, then B went higher, and C can go lower. The C wave is a 5-wave move, as you see over here. If I take this to the side and I pull this to the side, it's a 5-wave move down. A 1, 2, 3, 4, and this whole thing down, I believe, is a 5th wave, and it could have been finished, but I had doubts that it's finished, and I believe that we still have a bit more down, because the 5th wave can be short, can be truncated, as we had over here before. We went down, then we had a 5th wave. The 5th wave was shorter. We had a truncated 5th, and we continue higher. But if we say this was a 5-wave move down, and we put this here, then the wave 1 had 5 waves down. Wave 2 went up as an ABC. Wave 3 came down as a 5-wave also over here, and then now the 5th wave will also be a 5-wave move down. I think we haven't seen the bottom yet for wave 5, but this pump FOMO'd many people into it, and at the moment we had the pump, and the rest of this is retail FOMOing in and going long at the highs. Now, if we want to enter into a long, this isn't, in my opinion, a place to enter a long. You wait for the retrace, confirmation, and continuation. So what do I mean by that? If we come here and now we had this move up, say you had this move up, you're waiting for a retest of these levels, 19.7 of the 19.7 range. Because if you have this retest and it holds, then you know that if it holds and you see us holding for some time, then we might go up and break up. I have some targets to the upside. First target is over here. This is the golden pocket. I just put it as a rectangle, the 0.618 and 0.65. Between the 20,900 and 21,157. Usually the 0.618 of the golden pocket is usually a reversal zone, so I would expect at least a reversal from here. And if we reverse from here, we might come down in a three-wave move, come down, retest again, and continue high if this thing has more legs to the upside. Now, next target after this, I see this zone, this region where we have this big insufficiency. You see this candle came down with almost no consolidation, and we came down. That's a gap, that's a fair value gap, until we reach the order block over here. Which would be at around the 22k region to 22.3, 22.8 region. Now, if we get up there and continue higher, then yeah, Bitcoin has more upside, possibly see the 25k range. But until we break out of this box, which the high of the box is at 20,508, I don't see much reason to believe that Bitcoin is going to the moon, or we're going to make new highs. I just think this is a short squeeze, bear rally to squeeze people out. Ethereum has been performing much better than Bitcoin today. The gains on Ethereum today are crazy. It's like more than 10% gains we had today. Just trying to get today's candle, today's open. Let's go on the daily, that would be much easier. If you look at the daily candle, we had almost 14% gain. That's insane. And now it's just pulling back. If we go on the hourly and look at it, we might be coming back to retest the EMAs. We might come back, test the 55. See over here we had the 8, 13 and 21. Over here we have the 8, 13 and 21 trying to cross the 55. I mean, over here they crossed, sorry, we crossed and had our buy signal on the 23rd, and we continued higher. Now, we've had buy signals before that got wiped out, but in my opinion, the box that I showed you, by the way, is I was looking at Ethereum, sorry. Bitcoin on the 4-hourly, did we get a strong buy signal? We got a long signal on the 24th, a bit later than Ethereum. We had the 8, 13 and 21 cross the 55 here in yellow, and now they're crossing the 200. Now, if we continue higher, we may continue higher and then come down and retest again the 55 to confirm the up move. We might even come down, depending where the 55 is. It might be at 19.3 or 19.7, as I said, would be a good region to say that we will continue higher. 19.7 coincides with my value area high over here of this volume profile over here in blue, as you see it. 19,650, we might come and retest. But if we lose that, then most probably we're coming down again to 19,153, the point of control where we bounced off before. We need to hold that. But 19.7, if we continue, then we have those zones to the upside. Now, what can I say about momentum? Let's look at the momentum. The MACD on the 4-hourly, we have more upside to go. As you can see, we could go as high as this, where we had this pump to 22,800. It's very possible that we go up. We're still not oversold, overbought. RSI on the 4-hourly. The RSI on the 4-hourly, we are in the overbought region. So the RSI might come down to cool off a bit. Our RSI had a breakout from this. I had a triangle over here. We had a triangle over here. So the RSI had a breakout from this triangle. If I zoom in, there you go. We had a breakout to the upside, and we might come down, retest this triangle. If we break back in and come down, Bitcoin has lower to go, much lower to go. But at the moment, if we retest this and continue, then we need to hold the bullish range, which is between 50 and 80 in my opinion, 40 and 80 I believe. So we are in the bullish range at the moment. Below 40 gets bearish for the RSI. That is in the 4-hourly. The MACD on the 4-hourly is still looking bullish. 1-hourly looking like it wants to cool off and cross down. Momentum is going less. 15 minutes, we've crossed down. That would have been your signal to enter a short, a scalp short possibly, and move your stops accordingly. Now over here I have the 8 and 13 EMA haven't crossed yet, so I didn't get my confirmed signal to go into a short. But once I have 8 and 13 crossing down and the MACD crossing down, then I know it's a good point to enter a short. But looking at that also, the highest the highest probable trade would be, you have the 8 and the 13 crossing down. You have the 8 coming down, crossing below the 13, and you want them to cross below the 50 EMA. And then your price breaks down, comes back up, retests the 50 EMA again, and continues lower. Then you know you have a high probability setup. But if you want to go more aggressively, you could go on the crossover. Momentum looks like it's crossing down. This is on a smaller time frame, so I won't put so much weight on that. Now, trying to find divergences. Do we have any divergences? Bearish, bullish. We don't have any bearish at the moment on the hourly, nor on the 4-hourly. On the daily, we have lower highs still. So if I just switch off this indicator and go to a cleaner chart. Now on the 4-hourly, on this chart, we broke it out of this triangle, and I'll give you a target for this triangle breakout. The target is very bullish, but it doesn't have to play out to the T, but we could have that. It's just a possibility. We need to be open-minded and know what are our possibilities, so we know where we are in the chart, so we are not surprised by sudden moves. We just take the width of the triangle and go here. Our target could take us up to 25, possibly 26k. That's what the breakout is showing me at the moment. We had a touch here, 1, 2, 3, 4. We didn't get it over here. We came down for a 5th touch and broke out. So yeah, so if this was an A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, E triangle and we broken out, it could be. and we could see that 26k. However, I don't see that happening, but anything is possible. Now, looking back at divergences, now let's get rid of the MACD so we have a clear picture of the RSI and the money flow. Over here, we can see on our RSI on the daily, if you look here, we had a high, we formed a lower high, we're still having a lower high. We haven't formed, but if price pushes up and the RSI exceeds this high, then we could have bearish divergence on the daily. Our between this peak and this peak. If we look at the lows, we didn't have any hidden bullish or bullish divergence. Maybe we had from back here or even back here. Possibly we had a low, a higher low, and we had a low and a lower low. That is bullish divergence. Pushed our price higher slightly and we came back down. And money flow index, on the daily, nothing yet. On the 4-hourly, we had a high over here in money flow index and we have a lower high, so that's bearish divergence on the MFI. But on the RSI, we still don't have bearish divergence. On the 1-hourly, we had a high, so it's still good on the 1-hourly. We haven't formed any bearish divergence. We have some, we could have some continuation on the lower time frames. Over here, if you look on the 1-hourly, we had a low, and we had a lower low. On the MFI, we had a low and a higher low. That was bullish divergence. That pushed us up. So it gave us bullish divergence on the 1-hourly and we went up. But at the moment on the 4-hourly, if the candle and the indicator closes like this, which is in another 4 hours, if it just closes down, it doesn't exceed, then we would have bearish divergence on the 4-hourly. We are coming down. We would like to see if we can hold this zone of 19.7 over here, which coincides with the value area high on the chart. Now if we break out of this pattern, this box that we're in, that would be great. If we can break up above 20,500, that would be excellent. However, we look like we're rolling down hard. Let me switch on my indicator. On the hourly, it's a strong move down. We had a stopping volume candle here. We need to get back to the moving average as we have exceeded the move. We moved so far away from the 50 EMA even on the hourly. So it's only natural that we come down. Let's look at the DXY, the dollar index. The dollar index is tanking. That's a big red candle. That's an insufficiency in the chart and will come back possibly to recover it at some point. But at the moment, I need to open it on capital.com. We will have the vector candles present. DXY. There you go. The DXY, as you see, we had very strong red candles coming down. So I think we would come back to recover that. However, if we go lower on the DXY, we have support at 109.2. 109.2 is our next zone of support. 109.254, and that will give Bitcoin more room to the upside and possibly till it meets resistance. When we look at the DXY, we need to look at the euro, because the euro and DXY, the euro forms about 50% of the DXY, I believe, or 40%. So the euro has been moving up. Next point of resistance is a 1.0. That's when the euro and the DXY are in parity. That means 1 euro is equal to $1. So when the euro gets here, this is a point of resistance for the euro. And if the euro starts pulling back, because the euro had a good day today, And if the euro starts pulling back, then the dollar index will continue. You can see from the chart, this is the last point we sold off last time from. Over here, the 1.0. And if we get there, I would expect some resistance, because it is clearly a point of control. As you see, a lot of candles just going back and forth at this point, and we would probably come back down. The GBP, Great British Pound, here you go, GBP USD also is having a good green day. Look at that move up. We are going up. And as for the GBP, we are at resistance at the moment, so we might start rolling over. Ethereum, on the other hand, had a nice move down, up, and we are recovering it. So I hope if anyone went long at this point, they paid themselves. Now, what I see for Bitcoin on this chart, if it comes down to 19, even 19.8, possibly wick down to 19.7, that will be coinciding with the zone that I told you about, the value area high over there. And we may continue higher. At the same time, it will be landing on the Fibonacci channel, and the 50 EMA might be here also, getting closer to price, and we might land over here. So this would be my next target to look if I was interested in a long for Bitcoin, possibly at 19.6, 19.7. Over here would be a good point of support if we get there. Sometimes you see over here, we tried to get above, we got above and we failed, continued higher, failed again. Finally, on the third tap, we broke out with very strong volume. So we may come down and retest that and maybe continue. On this chart, if we go higher, then my next resistance I'll be looking at is 21,000. I have different charts with different trend lines and Fibonacci channels laid in different ways to give me a different perspective of what could happen. So if I go to this other chart, I know I have my zones over here, previous zones of interest. I know that Bitcoin has been respecting these zones, and if we go up between 20,978 and 21,147, that would be a good zone. I'll be interested, so just put it in the middle here. 2177 coincides nicely. I just put it randomly, and we could come down and retest this first, cool off. This could be a third wave up, coming down for a fourth wave. And if we want to know, usually if we say this wave up is a third wave and it's over, then we would want to see a 0.382 retracement between 0.236 to 0.5, and that could take us down to 19.5 again if we just take this whole move up. But if I want to take it on the hourly, on the hourly is better. So we take it from swing low over here to the swing high. In my opinion, the highest probable target for Bitcoin again is possibly, actually if I want to take it, we have different targets. It depends how you chart it, but I'll take it from this swing low. 19,684 is a golden pocket for this move up on its own. So this would be the golden pocket between 19,634 and 19,594. So the 19,6 to 19,630 is a good range to look for a bounce if this 19.8 doesn't hold. But this is a very good pump, interesting, towards the end of October. We were expecting a stronger dump. We may still get it from now, these last weeks of October, and then rally to the end of the year. But we were respecting these levels, 19.4 and 19.527, almost to the dollar. I mean, we bumped our heads on it a few times and we still came down. If you look over here on the 4 hourly, you can see it was wicked up over here bumped our heads here, broke out, came back down, but now we had a strong breakout and we're even above it, the value area high. Let's look at some other tokens. Let's look at APT USDT. APT USDT on the hourly. Yeah, it didn't have a good day today, not like Bitcoin. It's been doing the opposite of Bitcoin. Let's look at Clay. Not much of a pump today. RSR shared Bitcoin's pump. BNB on the other hand also had a good day. BNB did the same as Bitcoin, and it may come down, retest the 282. The 282 for BNB. We are above the value area high also for BNB. The markets had a green day, that's why Bitcoin had a good pump today. The market started off very nice and green with strength. Chili's on the other hand, broken. Next target to the upside for me for Chili's is at 22 cents, 22.46. That's the next zone of resistance if we continue higher. However, we have been here and we sold off really hard previously. So even if we go slightly higher, we're already getting rejection over there. EOS on the other hand also had a good pump, pulling back. So everything in the market, the move to the upside has been exhausted, and they're moving down. Let's look at the trend exhaustion. Trend exhaustion on the 4-hourly still has, this is on the 1-hourly. On the 1 hour we still have more room for the upside. On the trend exhaustion, the move hasn't been exhausted, even though we're pulling down. On the 4-hourly, not exhausted. On the 15-minute, actually it's the colors. Let me just adjust, let me do some settings over here. Let's see, let me put it as bright green. The candles are exhausted, but the indicator is not showing much of exhaustion yet. Now if I go to the 1 hour chart, we haven't got that bright green color yet, so I would say we still have a bit more legs to this, but let me see the colors. I think I need to change it to a different color so I could see it. Let me put it as blue, then that will be clear. Okay, the candles turn blue, move is exhausted. Now let me see over here, candle turns blue. Alright, so still has a bit more room. Once we see the color changing on the 15-minute, you see we are getting exhausted. The move up is getting exhausted on the 15-minute. On the 30-minute, we are starting to get exhausted, and that will also translate eventually to the 1 hour if it continues. So whenever you see the trend getting exhausted, so if we go to the half an hour, 30-minute, and we see when the trend gets exhausted, what happens? The move up turns, if the move up turns to blue, like over here, You can see over here we were moving up. Eventually the move up started turning blue, then we got a down move. Same thing over here on the 30-minute, the move up. Over here we're starting to turn blue. We may roll over, but we still didn't curl down. We need to curl down, and then we say, okay, we're really exhausted. That was on Filecoin. Now let's go back to Bitcoin and see what are the possibilities to the downside. Now I gave you targets to the upside, resistance, and I gave you some support. But what are the targets to the downside? If Bitcoin loses the 19,130 or 150, then we could, which is the point of control over here, 19,150, then we could easily come down. Value area low 18.8, even come as low as recovering this wick, because we do recover wicks. It takes a while sometimes, or even this wick over here on Binance at 17,918. Of course, if we lose that, then we're clearly coming back to our June lows. But now looking at this, everyone is thinking Bitcoin is going to the moon, and everyone is forming long. This is a perfect combination for the market maker to just reverse markets on the retail trader and liquidate the shorts, but liquidate the longs. But first off, once they feel they have finished doing the shorts, which God knows how long they'll take, then they'll bring the market down. So that's my opinion on Bitcoin. It's not financial advice. I gave you a few targets to take a look at, and yeah, just click the likes and subscribe to the channel, and wait for my next updates.